So anybody want got a possible testimony when they come up here right now, and you're taking care of the woman with the resources of the people in the neighborhood. But I was trying to get your attention. You see me, but you walk off. That's where I appall, whatever appall means, to your decision, because you just talked about the chief of police. You know everything about that, but you see what you want to talk about, going to get to action, you should get. My money is, I want you to at least attempt to get my money in my own hands. And talking about these kids ain't got no jobs and stuff. We grown, I'm a grown man and but they told me my sister got my stimulus money, but I ain't got nothing to get from it. And you made it possible to get my stimulus money, but you just went back to your seat and you're not transparent. But you was transparent, just got out of your street, right over there and talked about. So I want you to at least attempt to check my sister on Rankin Street, Joanne Evans. That's her name. It's in the 400 block. I got my own sister's address. It's all that COVID situation coming up in there. I got used to it. No, people care about go and our people. And I want you to. Maiden name was Mitchell. You know, when we get married, my brother-in-law was Evans, Red Evans. And I want you to, would you do that for me, Miss Jackson? Tell her about our Mitchell money because the IRS told me was happening. When they down on Second Street, the 11, 10, right in front of the high-rise. And the IRS people's gonna play. They don't lie either, I can tell, because it's up to me and people like you to get to the point where people they can treat people like they civilized in this town, instead of letting them kids like they grown than the grandparents. Like me, Father, I got some grandkids, but they come to me in the farmer's market, they didn't know that. That's how 14 years old. And let me know. I'm gonna bring them.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is Arthur Woodson.
Next public speaker.
Next speaker is Mary Wright.
Next public speaker.
Next speaker is Claire Clinton.
Next public speaker.
Next speaker is Rodney Thomas.
I'm sorry, what was the name? No, sir. What was the name, Madam Clerk?
Rodney Thomas.
Next public speaker.
Taylor Sampson.
Next public speaker.
And the last speaker is Allison Montgomery Littlejohn.
Nope, she is gone. So seeing as how we don't have any more public speakers, it is now time for council response. I'm sorry, we don't have a speaker slip for you, sir.
Wow.
Is there anyone who wishes to speak during council response? Seeing as how there's no one who wishes to speak during council response, what is the pleasure of the body for the consent agenda? Councilwoman in the fourth ward has made a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there support? It's been moved and properly supported by the councilperson in the seventh ward. Are there any separations? It's been completely separated by the councilman in the 8th ward. Moving on to resolution 250118-D, charitable gaming license of fulfills adventures in philanthropy. What is the pleasure of the body?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 4th ward.
Move to council.
Okay, all right, that's, I'll make a motion to create it, keep it in government.
Support. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Howard is not in. Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Priestley? Yes. Ms. Winfrey-Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Shack?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jericho?
Yes.
The vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
I'm sorry, please repeat that.
The vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
Thank you. The vote is 5 yes, 0 no. That resolution 25018-T, charitable gaming license, Uncle Phil's Adventure and Philanthropy, stays in committee. Moving on to appointments. Appointment 250061-T, which is the reappointment to the Hurley Board of Hospital Managers, Charlotte Edwards. What is the pleasure of the body? It's the councilman in the 8th ward would like to keep it in finance. Is there support? Support, I'm sorry. I said finance, I'm sorry, government ops. Thank you very much. To keep it in government ops, it's been properly supported by the councilwoman in the 4th ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Priestley? Yes. Ms. Winfrey-Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Shack?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Howard is not in. The vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 5 yes, 0 no. Appointment 250061, reappointment to the Hurley Board of Hospital Managers, Charlotte Edwards, stays in governmental operations. Moving on to resolution 250096-T, which is the reappointment to the Hurley Board of Hospital Managers, D'Angelo Larkin. What is the pleasure of the body?
Madam Chair, move to council.
It's been moved to council. Is there support? Moved and properly supported by the councilman in the 8th ward. Is there discussion? Discussion in the second round. Councilwoman Winfrey-Carter, you have the floor.
I'm just gonna say this, and this is where I stand on all of these appointments to the Hurley Board. I remember the night that certain council members voted no to reappoint Mr. Philshurst. And I couldn't understand that. And it was all political, in my opinion. So, with these reappointments, as well as the appointments, I'm not gonna vote on any of this. My vote will be no. If you wanna keep it in government office, fine. But I will never vote for this to move to, council. Because right is right and wrong is wrong. It was weird that night. We had council members, I don't know who got up. They got up and they kind of disappeared into the back of the chamber and didn't vote. And couldn't even say why they didn't want to vote for him. So I will not vote. And it's not that I don't think that any of these people would be good people to serve on this board, but I'm not going to vote on this until we can vote Mr. Philshurst to be reappointed to this board as well. Thank you.
Anybody else in the second round discussion? All right, since how there's no one else, I will take my time. I want us to be clear. This is a little bit of revisionist history happening, and I don't think that is purposely being done. If you recall the night that Mr. agenda for Hurley Board. There was also Mr. Jaleel, I can't remember his last name right now, charged to my head and out my heart. He was on there as well, and I moved to have that moved to council, and I did not get support. I could not understand at that point in time why I didn't have lack of support, at which point I ended up getting a personal phone call, and I had to go to the back. Ms. Fourth Ward, Ms. Priestley was on her way to the restroom, and when she went to the restroom, I stopped her and I asked what was going on, and she said all of the Hurley Board appointments that night had been pulled. So that's actually what happened. So that's why the votes went the way that they went, because if you recall, you go back and watch the tape. Just in case you feel like there's a discrepancy in my story, which there is not. I tried to move Mr. Carter, it died for lack of support, so I had no idea at that point that all of those appointments had been pulled. And so once I learned that they had all been pulled, which at that point I was already in the back, and so you all had continued with the meeting, you all were already voting. So it wasn't a political move on my end or Ms. Priestley's end or whatever the inference is there. They had just simply been pulled already, and I was not aware of that, and so I was trying to move everything that was on that agenda that night, because they were all appointments, and they were all appointments to the Hurley Board, and we know the Hurley Board needed the appointments. So just so we are clear on what happened that night, those appointments were pulled, and I had no idea they were pulled. So if anybody would like to make a substitute motion, because Ms. Carter has made it clear that this will fail if we do not. All right, there's a substitute motion by the councilman in the 8th Ward to leave this appointment 250096-T, the reappointment to the Hurley Board of Hospital Managers, Deidre Larkin, here in Government Ops. Is there support? It has been moved and properly supported by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey-Carter?
Yes.
Mr. Burns is absent. Ms. Michelle?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Hurley is absent. Dr. Lewis is absent. Those 5 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 5 yes, 0 no. The reappointment to the Hurley Board of Hospital Managers, Deidre Larkin, appointment number 250096-T stays in governmental ops. What is the pleasure of the body regarding the last 2 Hurley Board of Hospital Managers appointments, and that's resolution 250132. And that is for Mr. Robert J. F. Whittigan, and it has been moved to council. Is there support? It's been properly supported by the councilman in the 9th Ward. Is there discussion? Councilman in the 8th Ward.
So, I'm moving it to council so I can vote this down. Because there ain't no way in hell that we're gonna allow this guy who came before us every single meeting to lie to us, and then he left us in financial shambles that we're still paying change orders to Raymond for. And we're gonna give him a position as on the board of hospital managers? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. He left us high and dry, lied to us every single night, and then we still paying $100,000 of change orders to Raymond. So, it's a hell of a thing.
All right, is there any more discussion in the first round of discussion? Councilwoman in the 4th Ward.
I'm not gonna blame the $100,000 in change orders on Mr. Whittigan. He left well before. I blame it on the circumstances that occurred after that. So I have no love for Mr. Whittigan. But I'm not gonna blame him for the mess in the audit for that year since he left so early. However, the previous year was a shambles. And I just found there's been so much change in our financial leadership that it just has made our books a mess, and which Mr. Moore is trying to clean up and make more standardized and more things documented that have not been documented. So I'm gonna disagree with you that he left the books in a shambles, but I have no great love for him. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the first round of discussion?
Yes,
Councilwoman in the 5th Ward, you have the floor.
Madam Chair, through you to Clerk Donahue. Clerk Donahue, would this be a City of Flint appointment to that Hurley board? You know what I'm saying? What are the guidelines, as far as?
Okay, so let's say, I don't wanna speak on behalf of the administration, because it doesn't say who he's replacing, and I don't wanna make any assumptions.
Right.
So I would have to find out who this replacement will be for, because there've been so many. Cause I don't even know who he's replacing out of others that have failed. So, no,
It doesn't,
but I can find out and send that information to you tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna, I mean, I'll let it sit here in governmental ops, but I'm not gonna get with these to go to council. So.
Inquire and send that information to council.
All right, thank you.
All right, anyone else in the first round of discussion? All right, so I'll take my time. I am not familiar with whatever interactions were had with him prior. I do understand the question that you were attempting to ask, Ms. Winfrey-Carter, as far as residents, is this going to be considered a City of Flint appointment, or if this is going to be an appointment that we are allowed to have of a non-resident? So I get what you were asking there. Roll call vote, Madam Clerk?
Ms. Winfrey-Carter,
No.
Ms. Burns is absent, Ms. Mashat,
No.
Mr. Pfeiffer,
No.
Mr. Jarrett,
No.
Mr. Alderman is absent, Mr. Willis is absent, Ms. Priestley.
No.
The vote is 0 yes, 5 no.
The vote is 0 yes, 5 no, that appointment fails. Moving on to 250133-T, which is the appointment to the Hurley Board of Hospital Managers, Dr. Khalid M. Ahmed. What is the pleasure of the body? Councilman Pfeiffer made a motion to leave this in governmental operations. Is there support?
Support.
Moved and properly supported by Councilwoman Priestley in the 4th Ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Mashat,
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer,
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett,
Yes.
Ms. Priestley,
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey-Carter.
Yes.
5 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 5 yes, 0 no, that appointment stays in committee. What is the pleasure of the body? There's been a motion to adjourn by the councilman in the 8th Ward, supported by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Pfeiffer,
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett,
Yes.
Ms. Priestley,
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey-Carter,
Yes.
Yes. The vote is 5 yes, 0 no. The time is now 9:23 p.m. on Wednesday, April 23rd. I call this Governmental Operations Committee meeting